All right, I have a request video today. A friend of mine recently was gifted by his wife some high-end mustache wax, and he wanted me to do a video, instructional video on how to wax one's mustache. I'm sure there are plenty of better qualified people out there, but I do wax this little thing. Uh, so I'll let everyone know what it is that I do. Um, and the wax I use, now there are a lot of great waxes out there. Um, a lot, just handmade, wonderful stuff from all sorts of different products, animal and vegetable. What I use is actually easily obtainable at Walmart. It's Murray's beeswax. So it's not hard to go find what you need. You can, walk into um, stores all over and find Murray's beeswax. But I encourage you to go out and use some of the finer stuff. I've used some higher end mustache waxes in the past. They're a lot of fun. They're definitely more subtle to use than this. Something like this can be aggressive, but if you're using one of the higher end stuff, obviously you need to get to know your wax, whatever it is you're using. But you can get a little more play and a little more subtlety sometimes. And I, for one, am not a fan of really over waxing mustache. All right, so first let's talk about the mustache you have, what you're bringing to the game. It's November. It's mustache growing November. So I actually decided to emphasize my mustache a bit. Started waxing again, but I also separated my mustache, which is kind of in a chevron style, from my beard. You might be able to see, it's not something I often do. I actually shaved between my mustache and my beard, kind of separated out a little bit. Because I'm letting the mustache grow out, you can see it's a little messy here. Growing over the lip, but not just growing over the lip, growing over the lip kind of ununiformly right now. Usually in the past when I've waxed, I've had a full beard situation, which is what my friend has as well. He has this huge, magnificent beard. And so I have longer tips usually, growing all the way down and becoming a part of the beard. And so then when I would wax that, I would actually tend to over-wax the mustache a little bit on purpose and really curl those out, get these long curls. This time I decided to go for a more subtle look, really emphasizing the waxing of the mustache. Now, I believe that the coolest look is to have a robust handlebar, chevron growing into a handlebar with actually very short tips. I'm a very extravagant personality, so even when I don't do the mwahaha mustache, I still have slightly longer tips. But I really just like the short tips right at the end. Well, let's get down to the waxing. I'll show you guys what it is I do. Now I have my webcam set up on my computer, and then that's my video camera up there. So I will often be looking down so I can see what it is I'm doing. Do I want to do this on a mirror? You can see I've worked my way through this jar pretty well. I waxed for about 4 or 5 days in a row, and then I've spent the last 2 or 3 days without wax. So in a way, I'm kind of starting from scratch. I can say I have a visible clump of wax on this finger, and I'm going to go ahead and just apply it to the tip here. Definitely quite waxy at this point. Then just kind of run the rest along the bottom of my lip. And then I'm going to do the same for this side. A small but visible bit of wax, starting just above the tip of the mustache and then rubbing it in to the tips, and then running it along the bottom. All right, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of rub my finger along in here, come up so you can't really see much wax, but you can feel there's a little bit of wax on your fingers, and get the stash up off your lips. There's just one option. There's no need to lift it up over the lip, but since I'm growing my mustache out fully, but it's still messy, I can pull it up like that. Now, that's basically it. You can see how these tips stick out pretty aggressively. but without, I can tell this one's frayed a little bit. The definition on my webcam is set pretty crappily, so I'm having to go by feel here. You can tell I have to do a little bit of trimming right here, clean that up. You see I've got it too short to really do a crazy curl, but I think you can also picture how snipping off a little bit would look really good. Now, I am tugging down on my hairs to kind of give it, I don't want my lip to look like it's stuck up above, my mustache to look like it's stuck up above my lip in some sort of, vinyl or plastic veneer. It'll give it a more natural look. Now, one of the things I will likely do, like I said, over waxing really heavily can be a look. I am going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to fan it out. So I'll actually just do this now, even though I usually let it set for a little bit. Put my finger on this tip, which again, the tips have the most wax, and separate them a little bit. So if I can pull that off decently, even though it hasn't dried yet. I have a feeling that this side is going to come out a little better at this. Okay. And I'll accomplish a little more of this fanning a little bit later on. Now, it's basically the finished product. I will, over the next 4 or 5 days, continue to add wax, but I'm not going to have one more big waxing session like this. So this is pretty shower proof. You have to actually decide that I'm going to be done, wash it out. But just by adding a little bit of wax every day, you get some really nice full body. And as this dries, this will become a more natural look. And just adding a little bit of wax a bit at a time will make it have that more Victorian look where you have the shape, but this looks like it might have some gel or something in it. You can as time passes, and the next day it looks even better. So what I do, I show up for work in the morning with the waxed mustache. I'm waxing the evening before. Now I'm about to go to a party, so I'll let this dry a little bit and then sort of comb it out a little bit and de-emphasize it. Side effects of the wax mustache: it's like a bow tie. People think that you're crazy but friendly, not threatening. The ladies love it, but the ladies like to view it from a distance. I can tell you that my wife will not kiss me when I have my waxed mustache, and I will wear this mustache for days on end, proving what I think every man already knew is true, that I love my mustache more than I love my wife. I believe you can see that I've run a comb through the mustache, gives it a more natural look, and that's the finished product. Hi wife, what do you think of the old mustache? Enough, honey, you don't worry. She just said to me these words: I can't believe you would give up kissing just to look good. So I said, so you think this looks good? She said, no, you just think it looks good.